Hello students, how are you all? So, what we are going to do today? Nothing much. We are going to discuss about GCSE Maths syllabus. Nothing much. What GCSE asks and before examination, what we need to revise. That's the main point here. Now, if we see in every paper of GCSE, there are only 6 math test subjects are there, which are these: number, algebra, ratio, proportion and rate of change, geometry and measures, probab and stats. Algebra takes up to 40% part of this whole paper. That was some extra knowledge. Now we are going to know about each and every topic from these ones. Okay. So first we will go with number knowledge. In GCSE Maths, there are two tiers, grades 1 to 5, which is called foundation tier, and a higher tier for grades 4 and 9, 4 to 9. So, in every tier, there are 3 question papers for the number system. In the numbers, what we need to learn: order positive and negative integers, decimal and fractions. Focus on this one. Decimal and fractions. You are going to see this a lot in the GCSE papers. Symbols. What are these symbols? Any of you from grade year 7 to 9 and in the GCSE, you must have seen these signs while you were studying inequality. 4 operations: two integers, decimal, simple fractions, and mixed number. Positive, negative. Place value. A relationship between operations including inverse operations. Now, moving ahead, what else are there in number system? Remember the brackets, the BODMAS. Conventional notations for priority of operations, including brackets, power, root, reciprocals. 2 types: multiplicative inverse, additive inverse, in which we used to get 1 and 0, while in addition, additive inverse 0, multiplicative inverse 1, additive inverse 0. Use the concept and vocab of prime numbers, factors, divisors, multiples, common factors. Remember CF, remember HCF, highest common factor. The highest common factor concept comes from this common factors. Common multiples, highest common factor. See, lowest common multiple, prime factorization using product notation, unique factorization theorem. listing strategies, positive integer power and associated real roots, square, cube, and higher. Calculate exactly with fractions. Again, fractions. I told you previously also. Focus on fractions. Calculate with and interpret standard form. Standard 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. Let's see if you know what this value represents. And second comes this one. Looks easy, and it is easy actually. But while in examination, only three steps: fraction, decimal, and percentages. Simple flow, but still a lot of students make mistakes here. Why? Because the question in the GCSE is not like get me the 99% of 600. They give you the questions like this: price increased by 33.33 percentages. Find the previous price or the cost price. These type of questions you see recurring decimals into their corresponding fractions and vice versa. Interpret fractions and percentages as operators. And here comes the easiest, which is like free marks. Calculations using approximation, estimation, including answer obtained using technology. Rounding of numbers measured to an appropriate degree of accuracy. Remember those questions? Two decimal points. So this used to become 1/4. All come into this. Use standard unit of mass, length, time, money, and other measures, including standard compound measures using decimal quantities where appropriate. Estimate answers, in short, rounding off. Now, the king of all GCSE is on the line. And we know them as algebra, manipulation, algebraic notation, coefficients written as fractions rather than as decimals, brackets, numerical values into formula and expressions including scientific formulas which were that's for you. We use this formula for what? Understand and use the concepts and vocabs of expressions, equation, formula, inequalities. See, inequalities where we used to use such signs, terms, and factors. Now, is it all about algebra? No, because algebra also includes few more things. What are those things? If I remember correctly, these are those things. Simplify and manipulate algebraic expressions, like terms, unlike terms, single term over a bracket, taking out common factors, simplify expressions involving sums, products, power, including the law of indices. Standard mathematical formula. Rearrange formula to change the subject. Interpret simple expressions as functions with input and outputs. Actually, we start learning these things from year 7. That's why year 7 is also called the foundation years. And then the one comes in which most of the students feel like why we are still learning mathematics. Graphs. Coordinates in all four quadrants. The name looks difficult, but is it difficult? Plus plus, plus minus, minus minus, minus, plus. Is it? Is it so? No. X comes first, and here X is negative. Now, plot graphs of equations that correspond to straight line graphs in the coordinate plane. Simple. Y is equal to mx plus c. You will get an equation like this. X, y, put values of x, you will get the values of y, and you will get a graph like this. Identify and interpret gradients. What are gradients? This bend is called the gradient. And intercepts of linear functions graphically and algebraically. Graphically, algebraically. Recognize, sketch, and interpret graphs of linear functions and quadratic functions. Linear function is this. Quadratic functions. Ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Plot and interpret graphs and graphs of non-standard functions in real context. If you put the values, we will get the graph. And then comes solving equations. Solve linear equations in one unknown. Approximate solutions using graph. If you have a graph like this, how many solutions are there? 2. It means this is a quadratic graph. Students should know the conventions of an open circle on a number line for a strict inequality and a closed circle for an included boundary. Now, the last of algebra. Here comes the final one from algebra. Generate terms of sequence from either a term to term or a position to term rule. Recognize and use sequence of triangular, square, and cube numbers and simple arithmetic progressions. Deduce expressions to calculate the nth term of linear sequence. All of them are easy. They only look difficult. And from year 7 to 9, you learn about all of them. In GCSE exams, you go only a little bit higher, and that's it. But the foundation starts from here. So, in this video, we talked about number and algebra. Still, there are how many are there? We are left with ratio, proportion, and rate of changes, geometry, probab, and staticness, of about which I will tell you in the next video. Till then, have a nice day.